Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video tonight there is a few things to negotiate about. So, first topic, I'm just going to give you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba. So, as you all know, Paul Pogba has recently returned to training with Manchester United after recovering from coronavirus. That's obviously very good news from a Manchester United perspective. It's also good news for Paul Pogba and his family. But Paul Pogba is a doubt for our first game against Crystal Palace. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is hopeful that he will be available, but he is not 100% sure. We do play Crystal Palace on the 19th of September, which is obviously next week. Now, obviously, for the vast majority of last season, Paul Pogba was out with an ankle injury. That's why his appearances were limited. Pogba has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Obviously, this season is going to be his 5th season at the football club since rejoining from Juventus back in 2016. We did pay £89 million for Pogba, so as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing. He's got, just under a year left on his current contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Now, it did recently say that Paul Pogba was refusing to sign a new contract at Manchester United because he's waiting for his former club Juventus to put an offer in. So maybe there's still a slight chance that he could leave the football club. Now, Pogba's agent Mini Raiola was it quite a few weeks ago. He said that Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United this summer, and he said he will hold talks over a new contract. We was very critical of Pogba's agent Mini Raiola earlier on this year. Main explanation is because he publicly criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United, and at least in the last couple of years, Mini Raiola been in the process of trying to get his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. Mini Raiola's spoken with Real Madrid, and he's also spoken with Juventus. Now, around this time last year, don't forget, Paul Pogba had made an admission saying that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge. And don't forget, he was talking a lot about Real Madrid, was Paul Pogba. Juventus obviously have been in for him. Don't forget, swap deals were high on the agenda. PSG, Barca and Inter Milan have been in for him before. But Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he said quite a few weeks ago that Paul Pogba's happy at Manchester United, and he said he does want to stay. I think since Paul Pogba's arrival, he has made over 100 appearances for the club in all competitions, has won 2 trophies with us so far. That was the Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, that came under the Jose Mourinho era. We had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era, but due to limited appearances, we had to let him go on a 3 transfer. But I think towards the end of last season, Paul Pogba was very good, and I thought his combination with Bruno Fernandes was exceptional, and I thought he did well in some of our Europa League games. So that is the breaking news on Paul Pogba. Now, I want to delve into some news on Sergio Regulion from Real Madrid. I have been talking with you a lot about him recently. Now, reportedly, Zinedine Zidane has given us the green light to sign Sergio Regulion. He is a cheap solution. I think Real Madrid have said that they want around £25 million. Obviously, Sergio Regulion is a left-back, and Manchester United are in search for a left-back, and I think it would be beneficial if we are to get a left-back in. We have got 2 predominant left-backs at the moment. Obviously, that's Luke Shaw. He's our first-choice left-back, but my element of concern about Luke Shaw is injury-prone. Just recently recovered from an ankle injury that he sustained towards the end of last season. And we've obviously got Brandon Williams, who is our backup left-back. We've also got Delort and Timothy Fosu-Mensah, though, that can also be deployed as left-backs. But it said recently that Sergio Regulion's transfer to Manchester United could be off because Real Madrid have said that they want to insert a buyback clause in any deal. Fabrizio Romano had recently revealed that Real Madrid have offered Sergio Regulion to Man United. He also mentioned that he's been offered to Arsenal and Tottenham. It did say he was preparing to put around the £25 million bidding for the player. But I don't think we've yet made a decision on the Sergio Regulion transfer. Obviously, he's been at Real Madrid for several years. I think he's been at Real Madrid since like 2005. So I think he's been with them around 15 years, is it, in total. Obviously, he's had a few loan spells with the Logrons. He was out on loan with Sevilla last season. Played around 38 games for Sevilla in all competitions last season. Obviously, Sevilla have been interested in getting him on another loan for another season. He has got a contract still with Real Madrid until 2023, and he is only the age of 23. But he doesn't get in Real Madrid's team because Zinedine Zidane prefers Ferland Mendy and Marcelo ahead of Sergio Regulion. Obviously, earlier on today, I give you the breaking news on Alex Telles from Porto. There has been reports circulating around the English press saying that Porto have offered Alex Telles to Man United. Porto have revealed their asking price. They do want around €30 million. That equates to around £27 million in pounds sterling. And Alex Telles has just got 10 months left on his current contract with Porto. But from a Porto perspective, they'll want to cash in for him this year rather than letting go on a free transfer next year. Don't forget, Alex Telles' agent was recently in Manchester to thrash out a deal for his client to come to the club. But reportedly, we're closing in on Alex Telles, and he's another left-back on our agenda. Now, Man United are looking at a lot of alternatives to Jadon Sancho, because there's still a possibility chance that Sancho won't come to Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Now, obviously the alternatives we've been looking at, we've been looking at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona, we've been looking at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke, we've been looking at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. We inquired about getting him the other week. We looked at David Brooks as well from Bournemouth a few weeks ago. We looked at Thiago Almeida at one point. We looked at Ferran Torres at one point. This was obviously before I went to Manchester City. But there's much cheaper solutions than him. Now, I think it's very, very imperative that Manchester United do sign Jadon Sancho. And I've outlined the reasons why I want him at the football club. Is because he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. He's predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for the right winger, and he's still very, very young, and if he comes to the Premier League, he will exceed expectations. Now, when Sancho was at City, he didn't obviously get assured any first team opportunities, and that's the main explanation why I left City. Before he was at City, he was at Watford. He was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. So he was at Watford for several years. So Borussia Dortmund is the third club in his playing career. Sancho's been at Dortmund for 3 years. He's still got a contract with them till 2022. Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City. And it's good from a Manchester City perspective if he's sold in this summer transfer window, because I think Man City do get around 15% of the transfer fee. Now, Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed, so too has Simon Stone from the BBC, that the personal terms and the agent fees have been agreed with Sancho. Also, a contract worth £250,000 a week has been agreed. This will obviously make Sancho the third highest paid player at the football club, behind De Gea and Paul Pogba. And I think Sancho will be signing a 5-year contract with Manchester United. It also mentions that we have submitted a bid of £90 million, with a further £18 million due in performance-related add-ons. And this fee reportedly will be paid in instalments over the course of the next 2 to 3 seasons. I think we've just basically been persuaded to pay what Dortmund are demanding, because Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. And like I've said, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. You know, the wage demands were a stumbling block recently. But obviously us paying 90 million and that, you know, it'll make him our most expensive signing, and it will make him the most expensive English player in history. Now, Solskjaer expects Manchester United to have signed Sancho by the Crystal Palace match. So Sancho could be making his debut for us against Crystal Palace. Sancho recently held private talks with Solskjaer and told him that he wants to play for the football club. Mike Phelan, our assistant, did recently say that Man United could be closing in on a deal for Sancho, because Mike Phelan's been following him on Instagram recently. But yeah, we've had breakthrough in talks to sign the player. But quite a few weeks ago, Sancho to Manchester United looked dead in the water, because obviously it had mentioned that we'd abandoned our chase for the player until the summer of 2021. Borussia Dortmund said they were very, very convinced that Sancho will remain loyal to them for at least another season. So yeah, it did really, really look dead in the water. But don't forget, last month, Fabrizio Romano had revealed that personal terms had been agreed, and he also said that Sancho was set to sign a 5-year deal. But just after that, it said, you know, that talks had broken down due to Dortmund's asking price. But we've already confirmed that we're not giving up on the signing of the player unless he publicly says that he wants to stay at Dortmund. You know, Dortmund said last month that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. Obviously, we missed out on the deadline, so Sancho decided to go out on pre-season. We know that he's going to be our next number 7, because obviously, you know, he'll fulfill number 7 well, and we've got number 7 vacant at the moment. So yeah, so Sancho to Manchester United should be announced by the Crystal Palace game. Well, I'm hopeful anyway. I don't think Sancho is worth what Dortmund are demanding, but I still think he's an exceptional player. I think he's worth probably from between 70 to 80 million pounds. Liverpool were in for him at one point. You know, don't forget Chelsea were in for him at one point. He was actually, you know, a boyhood Chelsea fan. Then Real Madrid and Barcelona entered the race for him. But it will be the signing of the summer, definitely, if we can get him on the board. Solskjaer did recently reveal that he was very, very angry with the Jadon Sancho deal, because this saga has gone on for so long, and he's urged Ed Woodward to get the player on the board. So there you go. But Solskjaer, like I updated you earlier, he is demanding more signings at Manchester United, because he recently gave us an update on our transfer plans, and he says we will remain active in this transfer market, because we are aware that there's teams around us that are recruiting very, very well. I've got to say, by far, Chelsea have done the best transfer business in this window. Obviously, they've brought the likes of Ziyech in, Timo Werner, Ben Chilwell, Kai Havertz, Milan Sarr, Thiago Silva, Mendy. I think they've got him in now. You know, they're trying to get Declan Rice. Liverpool, they've only signed to Sikmas at the moment, but they're still trying to get Thiago Alcantara from Munich. I don't think Thiago will come to Manchester United, but there's been rumours of him possibly coming to us. Man City, you know, they've signed Ferran Torres and Nathan Ake. Arsenal, they signed Gabriel Magalhaes and they got Willian on a free. Tottenham, they've also made some signings as well. You know, they've brought Holberg, Doherty and Joe Hart in. Even Leeds United, you know, they've made some signings. They've brought the likes of Costa in, Rodrigo from Valencia. Didn't bring Koch in as well, Harrison. So, you know, these teams that are doing very, very good recruitment. But Solskjaer did recently say, didn't he, that, you know, he's very, very frustrated with the board. Main explanation is because of the lack of transfer business. in this summer transfer window. But we've obviously, been very critical of the board for several years. Obviously, like reflects on how poor our recruitment policy's been. Quite frankly, the managers that we've had haven't been backed enough, and I don't think Solskjaer's getting backed enough in this summer transfer window, and I think he deserves more backing. The way he's turned things around at Manchester United, because obviously at the first part of last season he was under serious pressure because we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. But I think Solskjaer's totally blameless in all of this, because I feel as though he's progressing as Manchester United manager, and he's even publicly admitted that Manchester United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window if we are to, get to City, Liverpool's, and probably now even Chelsea's level. This summer transfer window has been open for a while now, a good 6 or 7 weeks, is it, something like that. And this transfer window shuts in just under a month. And, there's still a few things that Manchester United have got to do. Obviously, we've got to get a centre-half in. We've got to try and get a left-back in. We've obviously got to offload players as well to obviously generate more money and help us with our rebuilding process. And quite frankly, these still deadwood at Manchester United anyway. Obviously, we're looking to get rid of Lingard. We're looking to get rid of Andres Pereira. Smalling, I think he's close to leaving because he's agreed terms with Roma. Roma and Manchester United have just got to come to an agreement on a fee now. I think we've said we want around 18 million. Don't forget Smalling was out on loan with Roma last season. Rojo, we're looking to also get rid of him. Diego Dalot, we're looking to get rid of him. Phil Jones, he's another one we're looking to get rid of. Sergio Romero, he's open to leaving the football club, because obviously he won't want to stay at Manchester United, when he's third choice goalkeeper, because Dean Henderson has recently, come back to Man United. Like I've said, Lindelof and Eric Bailly's futures are uncertain at the club, but I think they will remain at Manchester United at least for another season. Juan Mata, he doesn't get in the team a lot now, but I think, he will remain at Man United for at least another season. Juan Mata's endured 6 years at Manchester United. We got him back in 2014 from Chelsea for just under £40 million, didn't we? But when he plays, he does make a fantastic impact. I'll give him, that. He really, really does. But yeah, there's a few things that we have got to do. Like I've already said to you, Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make. Because he did make an admission during our Europa League campaign that he is facing a goalkeeping dilemma. Solskjaer's definitely got to put Dean Henderson as number 1 for this season, because Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper. He is, he really, really is, because Dean Henderson recently endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he was Sheffield United's player of the season. We got Dean Henderson at just the age of 14, so he's been part of the club for several years. He's been part of the club for several years. But Solskjaer was saying a few weeks ago that he's not yet ready to become number 1. But it's David De Gea. It's him that's been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years. I don't think he's reliable enough to remain our number 1, because he's been a liability in the last couple of years, and this season is going to be David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, don't forget. So we know that. Obviously, Solskjaer's already made his decision on Maguire. We know that Maguire is going to remain our captain this season. Obviously, this season is going to be Harry Maguire's 2nd season at the club. Obviously, last season was his 1st season at the club. We got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at this moment in time, and he's the 2nd most expensive signing at the club. He was recently given extra time off as Maguire for his arrest in Greece and his court case in Greece. But Maguire at this moment in time is probably the best centre-half we have got, and we have got around 7 centre-halves in the team, including him. But like I said, for several years there's been problems at the club. You know, most of the blame does stem from the board, let's be honest. You know, it really, really does. You know, Woodward's obviously been at the football club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. But this summer transfer window is Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as Manchester United manager. And to be fair, I think our recruitment's been quite good under Solskjaer. You know, we have missed out on like 2 players under him. You know, we missed out on Bellingham and we missed out on Erling Haaland and all of that. But so far, Solskjaer's made what? Like 5 permanent signings at the club and spent just over £200 million. He's also brought quite a lot of academy players in, so it's good that more young players are coming into the club, and we've got a lot of good young players coming through at Manchester United. You know, Mason Greenwood. Last season, I think, was his first full season in the senior squad. Mason Greenwood got his starts towards the end of last season, didn't he? Because for the vast majority of last season, Mason Greenwood's appearances were coming from the bench, weren't they? Don't forget, we recently gave Mason Greenwood the number 11. He's the 4th player. He's going to become the 4th player to wear the number 11, isn't he, Greenwood? Williams. Last season was his first season in the senior squad, and I thought, you know, he was absolutely exceptional for us. No. Tiedemann Menge, during our Europa League campaign, he made his senior debut. I think Ethan Galbraith, he recently got promoted into the senior squad. But don't forget, there's some young players that Manchester United have loaned out. We've made the right decision by doing that, so that they can obviously get regular first team football. Obviously, you know, we loaned Sahith Chon out a few weeks ago to Werder Bremen. We've just recently loaned Dylan Levitt out. He's gone to Charlton, obviously on loan, so he can get regular first team football. I think he made his full debut for the club in the Europa League. James Garner, I heard that he's going to be loaned out. I don't know if it's official yet, I haven't looked into it, but last time I read, it says that Huddersfield, Blackburn and Millwall were interested in James Garner. Joe Pereira, don't forget, you know, we loaned him out again for another season. But in general, I like the way Solskjaer has promoted the youth. And since he got appointed in as Manchester United, more or less everybody's been given their chances to express themselves, because Solskjaer did make a promise that everyone will get their chances to express themselves, you know. But I think Solskjaer's learnt quite a lot at the club. I really, really do. He has learnt quite a lot. You know, he's got now that managerial experience behind him. You know, Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. You know, Solskjaer's been with us, been Man United manager now for quite a while. You know, he's been Man United manager for over a year and a half. I think he's been Man United manager now for nearly 2 years. Obviously, Solskjaer knows his best 11. That's when we've got a fully fit squad. We should have a fully fit squad for the start of this season. A lot last season, don't forget, Solskjaer went with a 4-2-3-1 formation. I think he'll go a lot with that formation this season. So, yeah. I don't know if Solskjaer's the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I think this season will tell the story if he is the right manager. If we was to have a bad start to this season, then maybe Solskjaer will be back under pressure again. But if we was to do well this season, then maybe more Man United fans will be convinced that Solskjaer's the right manager and he can get us back to where we want to be. And there could be a possibility chance we could extend his contract. He's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at the moment. But this season is a big season for Solskjaer, because obviously, you know, this season is going to be his 2nd full season at the football club. Obviously, we need to see improvements this season as well. I think Solskjaer's got to improve his decision making. I think also there's aspects of our game that I've got to improve. There's certain players that I've got to improve at Man United as well, because, you know, last season there was quite a few players that were underperforming. So, yeah, these are the improvements we do need to see. Don't get me wrong, I've seen quite a few improvements since Solskjaer came in. You know, don't get me wrong about that. You know, we haven't lost in the league since January. Players have definitely improved under him. You know, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. I think we've improved on the contract decisions as well. You know, if you've noticed, we've extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer came into the club. You know, the recent players to sign contracts were obviously Dean Henderson. He signed a 6-year deal with the club, as you already know, with 120 grand a week. Williams signed a 4-year deal not so long ago. McTominay signed a 5-year deal. Matic signed a 3-year deal not so long ago. So yeah, we've done well, you know, with the contract renewals, but I think we've still got around 6 or 7 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. I think I expect Paul Pogba to be the next player to sign a new contract with Manchester United and that. Obviously, if we make another 2 signings in this summer transfer window, I think our expectations this season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Another one of the expectations will be to win a trophy, because we haven't won a trophy for a long time. We haven't won a trophy since Jose Mourinho's first season, when we won the Europa League and League Cup. So it's like over 3 years now we haven't won a trophy, and this is the first time this has happened in just over 30 years. You know, but I said, didn't I, you know, we need at least 2 signings if we are to challenge for the title. You know, we haven't mounted any title challenge up in the last 7 years, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Recently I went through with you how Manchester United can win the title under Solskjaer. I said we need to make a minimum of 5 signings in this summer transfer window. Obviously we're not going to make 5 signings in this summer transfer window. I do think we'll make at least 1 more though. I said it's very imperative that we keep the players that we need at the football club. But United fans, some United fans don't think Solskjaer's good enough to win the title, because let's be honest, he hasn't got a fantastic pedigree behind him. You know, he only won a couple of Norwegian titles with Moll, didn't he? But to be fair, for last season he did well at Man United. You know, last season was Solskjaer's first full season at the club. You know, he did get us qualification for the Champions League. He also got us 3rd. You know, he also got us to 3 semi-finals, and no one expected that to happen. The only thing he didn't exceed last season was winning a trophy. But it is a transition period at Man United, and it has been a transition period for a while. But I know at the first part of last season I was demanding Solskjaer to be sacked, and so too a lot of Manchester United fans, because at one point we was facing a relegation battle. But on the other side of things, I said as well that in reality, no, we shouldn't sack him, because, you know, it won't resolve anything. You know, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers anyway, because Man United are not known for the sacking football club, despite the fact that we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. Obviously, you know, we sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho, don't forget. You know, and like I've said, you know, Solskjaer is inheriting players here from the Jose Mourinho era. You know, there's still some players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still Matt here from the Moyes era. You know, still a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era. You know, because, you know, before Solskjaer got rid of all these players, you know, he was you know, inheriting a lot of deadwood, and he's still inheriting some deadwood now, obviously. But we know what Solskjaer's trying to do. You know, he's trying to change the culture of the club. You know, he's trying to, you know, get the right players in that will make Manchester United successful again. You know, I think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy, or to last as long as Ferguson did. But yeah, we will see what happens. I'll have more of a perception on Solskjaer after probably our first 9 or 10 games this season. By the way, as you all know, we do play Aston Villa in pre-season tomorrow. Solskjaer's confirmed, by the way, that Dean Henderson will be starting in goal tomorrow. Don't know if he's going to be starting in goal for the Crystal Palace game. Luke Shaw's going to be available for tomorrow. He's now recovered from his ankle injury, which is good news from a Man United perspective. I think Tuan Zebe is still unavailable for us. You know, he's obviously been out with injury. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.